Good morning, all of you. So, up to our last video, we learned about, in the last class, we learned about abstract class and interface concept. So, both are used to achieve the abstraction concept. I hope you all are clear with that concept, right? So, in today's class, let us see the next concept that is about object class. You all know what actually a normal class is and how objects can be created with that class. As of now, we have created our own class and we have created some objects of that class so that the properties in that class can be used. Properties are nothing but variables and methods and constructors, right? But and also we have used some predefined classes like scanner class we have used, because if you want to read the input from the user at runtime, we need to create an object of the scanner class, and then we need to we need to read the input from the user. That is one type. That is one way of reading the input from the user, right? So we know, like, normal class, whenever we are talking about a class can be a predefined class or a user defined class. Predefined class is nothing but that class logic has been already defined and it will be available in some uh, package, and we need to import that package if you want to use the predefined class. In case of normal, our user defined class, we know we need to follow the syntax to define our class. Now, coming to a predefined class, we have a class called object class. Observe here, object is a predefined class. And what is the use of this class is, whenever this object class is nothing but it is a parent class for all the class. This is the super class of all the class. Got it? Whenever, if you are not using any inheritance concept, so, then it means we are extending this object class. Object class is parent class of all the classes, whichever is not extending this one. I'm repeating once again, if you are not explicitly writing extends keyword also, then also whatever class you are going to write in your program, that class will be subclass of this parent class, which is object. So you need to understand, like, by default, object class is the parent class of all the classes. Okay. Now you may get confused, like, I'll tell you one thing. Suppose you'll think like A is one class and it is extending this B class. Okay, A is extending this B class. But you may think like A is not extending this object as it, because extends keyword can't be used with the two classes. We all know that one, right? But if A is extending B class and B is not extending any class, then by default B is extending this object class. Isn't it all? So this is called as multi-level hierarchy, multi-level inheritance, where A class will be indirectly getting the properties of the object class. So we can say any class can be directly or indirectly will be the subclass of your object class. Object class is the parent class of all the classes. If you are explicitly writing like extends object, then it will be directly connected to that object class. Even if you are not writing also, it will be the subclass of the object class, or else sometimes that is called as direct way of connecting, or else sometimes using this approach we will be directly connecting to the object class. Clear, all of you? Got it? So we can say object class is the parent class, and whenever you are saying object class, it is present in the java.lang package. Okay, and we can say it is all the classes which does not extend also, they will be directly child class, or they can be indirectly derived also, whichever we have learned now, right? And what happens is object class, whatever we have, that provides some methods that are called as behaviors, and you using those methods we can do some operations on our objects, like we can do comparison. Like, these are the some of the operations where one object can be converted to a string, one or two objects can be compared, and we can generate the hash code of the object. These are some of the operations. Or else we can perform object cloning, we can do finalize, we can use this get class method, or else these are all the methods. So these are all the methods which are available in the object class. Got it? For these things, for these methods, the code is already defined. Some of the methods are final methods where we can't override those methods, but some of these methods are not final. That means in the subclass, that means audio is not, not audible? Yeah, I'll repeat once again. Listen, object class is nothing but you all know it is a parent class of all the classes. Now you see, and this object class consists of some methods. These are all the list of methods that are available in the object class. Okay. Now of all these methods, some methods are final methods. What do you mean by final? We already learned about final. Final is nothing but the method can't be overridden. Okay, but some methods are not final. For that we can override that method in our subclass. Some of such methods are toString method, okay, equals method, clone method. These are all the methods which we can override. And coming to the wait, notify and notify all, these are used with the multi-threading concept. So while learning the multi-threading concept, let us learn about these three methods. Let us not touch these methods now. Now coming to finalize method, this finalize method is used for garbage collection. At the time of learning the garbage collection, we learn these things. So now what we'll say is toString is nothing but you all know whenever you want to convert any object to string, we can directly use this toString. So in this lecture, let us concentrate on how equals can be used, what is nothing but cloning, and what is nothing but get class method. Okay, so these three methods are not final methods. Not final methods are nothing but we can override those methods or we can directly use those methods. So let us see the equals method and hash code. Normally hash code method is nothing but it is used to generate a unique ID for individual object. That is nothing but hash code. Normally it is used for security purpose. So hash code, if you call any object dot hash code, then that for that particular object, what is the hash code assigned internally, that will be displayed. So where it will be used is, it is used in the mapping and all. So as we are not learning about mapping and all, let us not see about this one. But remember, hash code is nothing but a unique code which is used for security purpose. Got it, all of you? So now what we'll see is, let us concentrate on equals. What is this equals method? Remember, equals method is nothing a non-final method which is available in the object class, and that means we can override that method. But before you going to overriding that method, you need to understand what is the use of this equals method. The name itself, it is telling equals is nothing but it is used to compare two objects. The syntax is like this. So whenever you are comparing two objects, it will return Boolean value. That means it will give either true value or a false value. Right? So if the two objects are true, then you will be getting a true value. If the two objects are false, then you will be getting a false value. To understand this one, I'll tell you with simple example. Suppose you have a class called employee. Okay, follow carefully, all of you. For this employee, you have created one object. Let us not go in detail about what is this employee class and all. Just for your understanding, I am creating one employee. Okay, an object of this employee. Consider like there is a employee class, and in this employee class, let us consider I am passing his name. Let us consider name is Jyoti, and I am passing his ID. Got it, all of you? And I am passing the college name also. So at that time, that means I want to initialize these three values. Similarly, I am creating one more object. Okay. And this object is E2, and observe here I am passing the same values. Okay, are you understanding? Now, whenever you say E1 dot, okay, I think it is small letter E1 dot equals of E2. If you write like this, then it will be returning. Can anyone of you tell me what value you will get? Observe here, the two values are same, but we are, this is E2 and this is E1, okay? Now, if I'm writing E1 dot equals of E2, then as the two values are same, we may be thinking like you will be getting true value. No, but you will be getting a false value. Are you understanding, all of you? Why we are getting the false value? Because normally in a normal scenario, you consider you have two cars. Both the cars are of same color, both the cars are of same features, both the cars are of same company, everything is same, but the two cars are parked in two different parking slots. Then the two cars are not considered same. Similarly, here also, as E1 and E2 are having the same values, these two are considered as two different objects, and these two are stored in two different memory locations. That's why equals will consider the two objects as different, E1 and E2. Observe here, whenever you are using new operator, a new memory will be allocated, new memory location will be allocated for that particular object. So that's why whenever you are using equals, what happens is, even though you are giving the values as same, it will treat both the objects as different, because both will be stored in two different, as in our case, parking slots for two different cars, where they are both are same, their properties are same, but they are parked in two different parking slots. Here also, E1 and E2 are having same values, but they are stored in two different memory locations. That's why equals will treat the values as different, and it will give the value as false. Got it, all of you? Why it is giving the false value? So, but if you want to have an option of if the values are same, and if you want to get a value as true, then what you need to do? You need to override the method. That means you can write your own logic for that one, the way you want to behave that one. Are you understanding? So Boolean equals method is not a final method. So normally it will treat two objects as different, but in your code, if you want the two objects as same, then you can override that method, and you can have your own logic for that one. So that flexibility is there with our equals method. Got it, all of you? So this is about object equals method. Next one is object cloning. You see here, I told you we have a method called clone method also. Now, what is the use of this clone method? We'll see. This is also available in our object class. Now, object cloning is nothing but if it is nothing but creating an exact copy. Normally, if you see, if you want to create an exact copy of E1 and E2, here both are considered as different. We are different only, but you want to store the exact values of these things in the E2. Now, to do that one, what we are doing, we are writing this much of statements, all these things. But that creating an exact copy of an object can be done simply by using this method called cloning method. Okay. So what method we can use? We can use a method called clone method, and it is available in our object class. Okay. Now, whenever you want to use this clone method, you need to implement an interface called clonable interface. Follow carefully, all of you. If you want to use this clone method, we have to implement a clonable interface. Otherwise, it will throw an exception. You will be getting an error. Okay, but if you don't want to use, and if you want to use a normal approach, then we don't have any option. You need to write all the statements, whatever things you want to write. But simply if you have created one object, and exact replica of that object if you want to create, then that can be simply done by using this clone method. And if you want to use this clone method is available in this clonable interface. So you need to implement this clonable interface. Okay, so what are all the advantages of this one is, it is easy to copy the objects, and we don't need to write the lengthy and repetitive statements, because let us consider you have to create 4 copies of same object. You need to repeatedly write the same statements or same values that are required for that object. That is not required if you are using this clone. Okay, to understand this one, let us take a simple example. I am taking a student class. Observe here, for this student class, I will be creating first one object, and then with that object, I will be creating an exact copy of that one. Okay, so to do that one, I am using cloning. So whenever I want to use clone method, I need to write implements clonable. You need to understand this one, because clone method is available in this interface. Okay, so we need to use this, we need to implement that, and otherwise it will throw an exception. Now the student will be having 2 variables, that is considered roll number and name, and this is the constructor of that one. You all know about what is this constructor is. Now don't worry about this one, what is this and all, this throws and all. While learning the exception handling, you will understand this one. Normally it is used to handle the exceptions at runtime, but as of now, you remember like this, we need to write like this. Now I'm writing my method called public object clone. That method I am writing. Why? Because I want to clone that method. So always you need to write this statement like this. Now, if you see in the main method, I am creating one object. Don't bother about this try and all. What is this try is for exception handling, it will be used. Later on in future classes, we are going to learn about that. But as of now, concentrate on how cloning method will be used. Okay. Now I have created one object. And for that object, I have passed two values. Now, exact copy of S1 I want to create. To do that one, you can see simply how it is done. You need to write s1.clone and you have to typecast that one with a student class, and that will be stored in s2. As simple as that. No need to pass the parameters, no need to create call the constructor. Everything is not required. It will exactly create the replica of s2, not replica, a copy of s2. So whenever you call s1.roll number and s2.roll number, or s1.roll name and s2.name, what happens? You will be getting this output. Both our values are of same values. Similarly, you can create n number of copies, whatever you want. So that is the use of this cloning. Object cloning is nothing but if you want to create an exact copy of an already existing object, then that can be simply done by using clone method. But remember, whenever you are using clone method, you need to implement this clonable interface. Got it, all of you? So this is about object cloning. I hope you all are clear with this concept. Okay, next one is reflection. For object cloning is nothing but copy of that one. Next one is reflection. Reflection is nothing but this is an application program interface where we can get or we can modify the methods, classes and interfaces of a particular class at runtime. Remember, at runtime, if you want to get the values of a method, classes, and interface of a particular class, then that can be done by using your reflection. Got it, all of you? So reflection is nothing but application program interface where it will be used at runtime, and it is used to examine or you can modify the behavior also of your methods, classes, and interface of a particular class. Okay, and these are named with class. See, object is one class and class is another class in which you have a reflection. This one. Okay, if you see the example, then it will be very clear to you. But whenever you want to use this reflection operation, you need to follow a two-step process. First step is you need to create an object of a class. Remember, class is defined class. Like object is a parent class, we have one more class called class. Now in this class, for this class, you need to create one object, and using that object only, using predefined methods, we will be getting the information about the methods, fields and constructors. How that can be done, I'll show you with example, then it will be clear to you all. But always remember, you need to follow these two-step process. First, you need to create an object of that class, and then you need to use the methods that are available in that class. What are all the methods that are available in the class? I'll show you. The methods that are available in the class is get class. Get class is a method that is available in the class. And what is the use of this get class is it is used to know the class name. Okay, it is used to know the class name of that particular class. Okay, next one is you have a get constructor. Get constructor is also a predefined method which is available in the class. It is used to get the constructor name whenever you want to work on that. And also we have get methods. What is the use of this get method is it will give you the list of all the publicly available methods in your particular class. Suppose you don't know what is the class name, you don't know what is the constructor name and what are all the methods available in a particular class, then you can use these methods which will be reflecting all the details of your particular class. That's why it is called as a reflection. It will reflect all the informations of a particular class. By using these methods, we can get the class name, we can get the constructors list, we can get the methods, publicly available methods. Okay, only publicly available methods will be displayed. So to understand this one, let us take one simple example. Follow carefully, all of you. Now, whenever you want to use any reflection operation, you need to import the package called java.lang. If you want to get the constructor data, you need to import java.lang.reflect.constructor package. If you want to get the method names, you need to use java.lang.reflect.method package. And if you want to get the fields are nothing but your variables, then this package need to be imported. So you need to import these packages. Now I have written one class called test class. Observe carefully. Here I have taken a variable called is. Okay, and I have taken one constructor. Okay, this example has been taken from the Geeks for Geek. Okay, and then test is an example. That test is a constructor and a method is a method for this particular test. Now observe here, this test class consists of a variable, one constructor and one method. Now, if you want to get the information of this particular test class, then in the main method, you need to first create an object of this particular test. That is the first step we need to do. And one more step we need to do is, for that particular class, I told you, no, class, we have a predefined class. For that class also, we need to create one class. Okay, so and for that class, if you want to get the class name, then you need to use get class method. I have given you the list. So get class, by which object you need to call? By using an object of your test. So if you are writing like this, you will be getting a test. You will be getting test as your name. Okay, so whenever you try to write the name of the class is cls dot get name, if you write, then you will be getting the name of that class. Okay, so this is the first step you need to do. Create an object of a particular class and using that object call get class method to get the class, complete class, and store it in a class object. And using that class object call get name method. Using this get name method, you will be getting the name of the class. And also you have another thing, get name, constructor name. If you want to use, then you need to use constructor dot get name to get the name of the constructor. And also if you want to get the methods available, then you need to use cls dot get methods to get the name of that methods. Now, if you see what will be the output of this program, you will be expecting 3 lines of code. So first line of code will be your test as your name. So the name of the class is test, that we got. And the second one output will be the constructor dot get name. What is constructor here? We need to store in a constructor. We need to create an object of that constructor using cls dot get constructor. We'll be getting the constructor name. So we are getting the constructor name is also test. Okay, and the public methods of this class, this is a normal output statement, and then we are getting the method name. What is our method name? That is method 1. So we are getting that output only, method 1. You can see here we got this method 1. So remember, reflection is nothing but for a particular class. This is a simple example, but in a normal, if you are considering a big project, that may be consisting of so many methods and so many types of constructors and all. In such a case, if you want to know for a particular class what are all the methods available and what are all the constructors available, to get the list of all the methods, to get the list of all the constructors, then we can use this reflection concept, which will display all the lists. Okay, got it, all of you? One second. Okay, all of you clear with this reflection concept? So this is about your object class and normal class. Got it? So with this, we'll come to an end of our today's class. I hope you all are clear with this. What is nothing but equals between two objects, and what is nothing but object cloning, what is nothing but object reflection. Okay, so let us stop our today's class here.